Hello, everyone. Charles Watts here. Welcome back to Inside Arsenal. It is Thursday. I hope the week is going well wherever you're watching or listening to this around the world. We're getting towards the weekend now. The sun is shining. We've got 2 days of boiling hot weather for once over here in the UK. I'm off to play golf a little bit later on today as well. So all is good in the world. And yeah, I hope all is well. And actually, just to flag this up, all is good in the world because the paperback version of my book is officially now out. Launched today. If you haven't got your copy already, if you didn't get the hardback last year, this paperback version has been fully updated to include last season, whole new introduction as well. So it is on sale now. You can get it on Amazon or other good bookstores as well. I'll drop the link into the description below. Perfect holiday reading, shall we say. If you are heading off to catch some rays over the next 6 weeks or so, or the next couple of months, and you fancy a bit of reading material, then why not pick up a copy of the Sunday Times bestseller? Still feels a bit strange to say that. So yeah, Revolution, The Rise of Arteta's Arsenal, out now in paperback. Right, enough of the hard sell from me there. Apologies for that. Still plenty to talk about today. Arsenal's new away kit has been launched to a slightly mixed reaction, I would say. We'll have a look at that, see what you guys are saying. Love to get your thoughts on it in the comments below. We're going to talk about Reiss Nelson, who and West Ham. Certainly things happening with regards to that possible move. I'll give my thoughts on that. We'll talk about Riccardo Calafiori as well as the transfer continues to drag on. We've got a couple of questions and comments from you guys as well. Right, should we start with Reiss Nelson, shall we? Who could well be heading to West Ham if Arsenal and West Ham can agree a deal for the, well, I was going to say right winger, but right winger, left winger. He's played either side, actually preferred to play on the left-hand side under Mikel Arteta, or Mikel Arteta certainly preferred to play him over there. But he is now close to a move, or potentially getting close to a move to West Ham if the two clubs can agree a fee. Not sure on exactly what Arsenal want for Reiss Nelson. I've seen all the, there's various numbers doing the rounds from 25 million to 15 million. I would suggest something in between that might well be the more realistic number that we could see. But I think it'd be a really good move for Reiss. We did speak about this on Inside Arsenal Extra Time yesterday. Myself and James Benge gave our thoughts on Reiss to West Ham. And so if you haven't seen it yet, you can catch it on there. But just on it, I mean, I think it'll be a good move for him. I think he can see the thing with Reiss is he's very much a London boy. He likes his home comforts. And if he does, I could never really see Reiss moving a long distance away in England. I thought he'd probably stay in London. West Ham certainly gives him the opportunity to do that. I think they're a good team, West Ham, with good forward players. I think Lopetegui's an excellent manager. So I think it'd be a decent move. And for Arsenal, if they could get £20 million in, around that sort of number for Reiss Nelson, then I think it would be a very good piece of business. I mean, he's been at Arsenal a long, long time, and we're always going to have that Bournemouth moment. Anyone who was there, well, not even anyone who's there, anyone who was watching that game at the time, it's one of those Arsenal moments you will never, ever forget. And I'm sure Reiss would have wanted to achieve more than just that while he was at Arsenal. But, for someone who's come through from the academy and can leave with that sort of moment that everyone's going to remember you for, I think that's a really nice thing. And he'll get a lot of, if he does go, it would go with everyone's well wishes. And for Arsenal, I think it represents some pretty good business. I mean, this is a player who was very, very close to leaving on a free last summer. I said at the time when they did give him a new contract, and there was lots of criticism for Arsenal giving him a new contract, which I didn't quite understand because it never felt like a contract that was going to be impossible to move him on from. And I thought it would have been, after developing Reiss for so long, for him to have walked away on a free and Arsenal to have got basically nothing for it last summer. I think that would have been a real, real disappointment. So if they can get a fairly substantial bit of money in for him, around the £20 million mark this summer, then I think that would represent a very, very good deal for a player who they barely use. I mean, I was reading Arseblog this morning, as I always do to start the morning, and he made a really good point. I think he said, it was something like since he made his debut in the Premier League for Arsenal, he's played something like 1,213 minutes or something in the entire time he's been at Arsenal. And Bukayo Saka played more minutes in his first season for Arsenal than Reiss has since. They start against, was it Luton at the end of last season, was his first start in 4 years in the Premier League. So if you're not playing any games, you're not getting any minutes, then you may as well get some good money for a player like that. And £20 million, I think, would represent a really good piece of business. And I think for Reiss, it is time to go out and actually play, back yourself, go and get some minutes, show you can do it in the Premier League. So it'd be a good deal for all parties, I think. So we'll just wait and see if it happens or not. But let me know your thoughts on the situation. Do you think it would be a good move for Arsenal? 15, 20, 25 million? What do you think the number should be for Reiss Nelson? Anything you want me to discuss, let me know in the comments below. Now, kind of following on from that conversation with Reiss Nelson. Now, Nico Williams, you all know, is a player that I really, really like. And I'm sure he's a player that every single person likes. It's impossible to sit there and watch what happened at Euro 2024 and not be excited by the prospect of Nico Williams possibly joining your club. Now, I'm not saying he is going to join, but sort of carrying on from the Reiss Nelson conversation, if you can bring in good money, and again, we spoke about this on Inside Arsenal Extra Time, we were looking at the potential targets that Edu may well have been set internally for some of these players. And you're looking at Smith Rowe, Nelson, Eddie Nketiah. You know, we know that Fulham are after Emil. We know that Marseille, Crystal Palace, clubs like that are interested in Eddie Nketiah, Aaron Ramsdale as well. You know, you can possibly bring in around sort of 100 million, you would say, for those players, potentially more than that if you get proper market price, especially if you add Aaron Ramsdale into that mix. If you can bring in that sort of money, then it just gives you the opportunity to really push the boat out and potentially get someone who would be that real curtain raiser. And I'm not saying that Arsenal need to sell to buy, because I don't think they do. I've certainly not heard that they do. I think they can still spend no matter what happens in terms of outgoings this summer. But if you can just bring in that extra bit of cash, that would just really help you sign a player like a Nico Williams, for example, that type of X-factor player that I think we all know that Arsenal lack. That you can add him to the squad, and then you can rotate with him, Martinelli, Saka. You know, the threat you've got out wide there, I think it'd be a really good thing. And that's why I'm saying, for a player like Reiss, who you're not playing, who's barely getting a game, who's only clocked up those minutes that I said in about 6 years of his making his professional debut, who only had his first league start in 4 years last season. There's just no point in him really being around anymore and being in that squad. So if you can sell a player like that, and then you can reinvest it on someone like Williams, and I'm being hypothetical here because we know that, yes, Arsenal like Williams. He's very well thought of at Arsenal and the recruitment team, but Barcelona are probably his favoured, or it feels like they're his favoured move. So it's not given by any means that Arsenal do firm up their interest in Nico Williams this summer. But if you can sell those sort of players who you're not using and reinvesting on someone like this, then the squad level just shoots up. And that's why I think it's time for a lot of these players to move on now. Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see this right now. Even if you're listening to it on podcast, I'm sure you've seen the pictures and the videos doing around now of the official kit launch for the away kit for 2024-25. There it is, inspired. Let me read the spiel. I always laugh at reading the spiels. I don't know if you've seen Chelsea's one yet, the new Chelsea blue kit. If you read the sort of marketing spiel that came out of that, it was hilarious. But this is what Arsenal had to say. So the new 2024-25 away kit is in collaboration with Adidas and British African heritage brand LeBron London. It says, we're celebrating our connection to our African supporters via inspiration from the continent's design traditions, featuring the traditional Pan-African colours of black, red and green. The shirt is punctuated with a striking white zigzag graphic designed by LeBron London founder Fede Dumbaya. These colours and cultural cues bind together to create a mural of our past and present connection to the African diaspora in London and beyond, championing the rich cultural heritage within the team and across our supporter base. So there it is, the new Arsenal away kit is on sale now. You can grab it at the store, you can grab it online. Just the third kit to come now, which will be launched during the US tour in a couple of weeks' time. So let me know your thoughts on that. Popular or not? You like it? Let me know your thoughts now. I'm not sure. I'm a bit on the fence. I really like the black kit from a couple of seasons ago was an all-time favourite of mine. I loved it. I'm not as keen on this one as that black kit, but it's grown on me, I have to say. And as always, it always looks better when you see it on the players themselves and when you see the sort of leaked images that have been online for the last couple of months for it. So I don't think it's terrible by any means. It's not one of my favorites, I don't think, but it's okay. And I kind of feel like all three of the kits this season just border on that okay mark. I'm not a massive fan in any of the three of them, I have to say. Okay, moving on now, we'll talk about Riccardo Calafiori. LR8TV has been in touch with, hi Charles, do you think the Calafiori deal is in serious danger of falling through? Seems to have gone completely cold. Or do you think it's maybe just a case of it on holiday and Arsenal waiting until he is back? Do I think it's in serious danger of falling through? It's hard for me to sit here because I'm not involved in the negotiations. You know, I've got a bit of information on it, but I'm not involved in the negotiations day to day, obviously. So I don't know the ins and outs of exactly where Arsenal are. I just know that talks are still ongoing. Arsenal haven't walked away from the deal yet. So is it in serious danger of falling through? I wouldn't go that far right now. But, you know, the longer it goes on without the two clubs being able to strike a deal, then, you know, it's tough to sit here looking at it and think, well, it's going smoothly, because clearly Arsenal would have hoped to have had this deal done by now. But it hasn't happened. They can't agree with a fee. It seems like the issue with Basel over the massive sell-on clause, which I think is 50%, is causing a lot of problems. Bologna know that whatever fee they get from Arsenal, they're going to lose an awful lot of it, because they're going to have to give it over to Basel because of that sell-on fee. So yeah, it's one, as I said, it's unfortunate it hasn't happened yet. I'm sure Arsenal would have been sitting back at London Colney over the last couple of weeks and would have planned to have him on board right now. But is it in serious danger of falling through? I don't think I'd go that far just yet. There's still a long, long time left in this window. We know that Calafiori is very, very keen on a move to Arsenal. The latest reports in Italy are though, that Bologna have told him he is now going to be returning for pre-season training. The deal hasn't been done, so they want him back. And certainly the reports from Italy are saying that if Arsenal can't hit the number that Bologna want, then they're more than happy to keep him for another season. So we're at that sort of brinkmanship stage, I think, when it comes to Calafiori. So unfortunately, it's that word that I know we all hate when it comes to transfers, but patience is going to be needed on this one, I'm afraid. Okay, here's one from Will. It was for Extra Time show, but we didn't include it in Extra Time yesterday, but I wanted to talk about it today. I thought it was a good comment on the Mikel Merino transfer, or the potential Mikel Merino transfer to Arsenal. Says, not sure why people are being so negative about Merino. He won the most duels in all of Europe last year. Huge tick for Arteta, obviously. And just because a player has been playing in Spain for a side other than Real Madrid or Barcelona doesn't mean they can't be a brilliant player. Would think Arsenal fans of all would know at the best, this best, when the last time we plucked a midfielder from a Liga in their late 20s, who was on the periphery of the Spain squad, we ended up with Santi Cazorla, and we all know how brilliant he was. 100%. I thought that was a really good comment there. Oh, just Santi Cazorla. What a player. What a player. The Spanish league is so technical and produces lots and lots of great midfielders who would thrive in the Premier League, but a lot of them are just happy making millions in their country of birth with great weather and food, rather than trying to branch across to the Premier League. I don't think us English fans realise that a lot of people in other countries really don't care about being Premier League proven, which is why some never make the move young and have happy careers staying in Spain. Yeah, look, I think Merino, and I said it yesterday, my only reservation about Merino is I don't, and I freely admit I'm not an expert. I don't sit here and watch Real Sociedad over and over again. I've watched a bit of Merino in the last few weeks since I've learned that this interest in him is, you know, pretty serious from Arsenal. So I've been trying to sort of get a little bit clued up on him, and he has a lot of attributes that make him very, very appealing to Mikel Arteta. You can see that, as you said, he's brilliant when it comes to duels. He can play in a couple of positions in midfield. He's box to box. He's got a good engine on him. He's powerful. He's tall, which we know Mikel likes. He's building a physical team. So there's lots of things that he likes that tick the boxes when it comes to him and Arsenal. But my only reservation is I'm just not sure he's that absolute. The one position this summer I think Arsenal can really raise the level of the team is midfield. There's a position there. Obviously, you can see it. There's Odegaard. There's Declan Rice, and then there's a position. You know, yes, Thomas Partey obviously is fantastic when he's fit. He can play there. Jorginho can play there. But you still feel like there's a position for someone just to grasp and be that three with Rice and Odegaard. And I look at Merino and I just think, is he that person who's going to massively raise that level to go on and be that guy? And I'm just not sure. I'm not saying he won't be, but I'm just not sure. So that's my only slight reservation about it. But I think your comments, Will, are really, really spot on. And look, if Arsenal go out and sign him and they get the deal done, then yeah, I fully back them, because I have a lot of trust in Arteta and Edu to get the decisions right when it comes to recruitment, because, you know, past history suggests they get most of them right. Here's one from Matthew quickly before I wrap this one up for today. He says, hi, Charles. Are you and Team News and Ticks recording shows anymore as the Euros are done? Yes, we are. So keep your eyes peeled for tomorrow. We are going to try our first ever live show tomorrow, myself and Team News and Ticks, providing nothing happens between now and then. That means we can't do it, but it looks like we're both free. So we're going to be doing a lunchtime live show. So stay tuned for that. So the first half of the show will be live on my channel, and then the second half, as usual, will be over on Team News and Ticks' Patreon. So yeah, as I said, keep your eyes peeled, and once that goes live, if you're subscribed, you'll get the notification. Come and join us, get involved in the show. We'll have a good sort of 45 minutes or so chatting all thing Arsenal and transfers. And that's it to me. And that's it for today, everyone. Just about get my words out. Thank you very much for watching, for listening. And as I said, if you haven't ordered my book yet and you want to get yourself a copy for the holiday, for the summer, then the description is, then the link is down below in the description. Have a fantastic day, everyone. Enjoy the sunshine over here in the UK. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.